Hey beauties, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Winnie. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make this beautiful Asooke headpiece that I did for my daughter for our photo shoot. You know, babies are very difficult to work with, especially when they want to do photo shoots. So you don't want to be stressing out with Kaylee and all of that jazz anytime you are going out or you want to do a photo shoot. So this is a simple hack that I did for my daughter, and it was really beautiful. So if this is what you love to learn, definitely keep on watching, like my videos, share with your family and friends, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out anytime I upload a new tutorial. And without too much talking, let's get straight to the honey of the video. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. Because I used a loom Asooke to sew her dress, so I had to take another Asooke to determine the size of the Asooke that I'll be cutting, because you are supposed to use the width of the normal Asooke, the one that we join together, right? So that is why I took that Asooke to measure it out, and then so I'm going to measure out my desired length and also the width of the normal Asooke that we normally use. So once that is done, I am going to go ahead and cut it out now. All right, so I'm just going to cut it out, what I'll be needing. So make sure that you are sure of the length that you are working with, because this length that I cut was too short, so I had to join it together. So make sure that your length is long enough. All right, actually sewing for babies can be really difficult. So after cutting, I went ahead to hem it all around. You know that Asooke frays a lot and you don't want it to be fraying. And after hemming, I used my lighter to just burn off the parts that the flyaways, the ones that are just coming out and poke nosing here and there. So I went ahead to use my lighter to burn it off. All right, so once that is done, then I measured the length that I wanted, and I realized that it was short, so I'm just going to join the two together. So before then, this is my normal wording, all right, and we are going to be using it to, you know, give the puff some volume. So I'm measuring a width of 6 inches, and from the normal length of my Asooke, I'm deducting 2 inches. That is what will be the length of this wording. So I'm cutting that out right now. So after cutting, what you are going to do next is that you are going to take your needle and thread. You're going to thread your needle, then you go ahead and roll it, just as you can see me doing like this. Make sure that it is not too puffy. By the time you are done rolling, try to tighten it up a bit so that it can be a bit smaller than this my own. All right, make sure that it is not too puffy by the time you are rolling. So when you are done doing that, you are just going to take your needle and thread and stitch it together, just as you can see me do like this. Actually, you can see two wording here, because I was thinking of doing a double loop, a double layer before, but by the time I was done with this one, I realized that it was already big for her head already and doing two just be too much, so I decided to leave it at one piece. So I'm rolling it into the Asooke right now. See the way I'm rolling it, to place it on one side like this, and then gently roll it till you finish rolling everything. You can also use your glue gun to, you know, glue it down as you roll, but there was no power at this time, so I couldn't do that. But you can also use your needle and thread to just tack any place that is not well sleeping well. You can just use your needle and thread to tack it down. So when I was done and I cut off the excess, I'm just going to use my needle and thread to tack it down, just like you can see me doing like this. I'm just going to use my needle and thread to tack it down. So once I'm done with one side, I'm going to tie it, cut it off, and move to the other side. I'm also going to tack the other side down. All right, so I'm also trying to use my lighter to burn it off because I don't want it to be fraying. So I'm trying to burn off the flyaways. I'm just trying to use my lighter to burn it off. All right, so I'm just trying to do that now. So if you are new to my channel, you are welcome. If you are not yet subscribed, please help a sister. Please subscribe to my channel, drop comments, like my videos, please. All these things help the algorithm to know that you love my content, and they're also going to help me push my videos to a wider audience. So please like my videos, please comment on my posts, comment on my videos, like my videos, please and please, and God bless you as you do. So once I was done with one side, I went ahead to tack the other side, and now I'm going to take a strip. So I'm going to be cutting it out and using it to cover up the edges, just like that. So this one that I cut, I think it was too small, so I went ahead to cut another one. So it was too small, so I'm going to cut another one right now, a bigger one. So I'm just using my eyes to eyeball what I'm doing. It's not like I have one specific measurement for it. All right, I was just using my eyes to eyeball it, and this was enough. It was way enough to wrap it. So before doing that, I went ahead to burn all the edges with my lighter. You can also decide to hem it all around if you want, but I think I'm just going to burn it with my lighter to make everything fast and quick. So I'm just burning it all the edges. Asooke frays a lot, so you have to be very careful when you are working with it. You don't want everything to fray away. It's just going to spoil all your design, and you will end up not having anything beautiful. So once I was done burning the sides, I went ahead to wrap it like so, and I'm going to be using my needle and thread to tack it down. All this method that I'm using my needle and thread to tack down, I can decide to also use my glue gun to glue it down. But as at the time I was doing this video, there was no light, so I know that we need to plug in our glue gun for it to work. So I just had to improvise by using my needle and thread to do everything. All right, so and it still came out beautiful. So now I'm tacking it down now. So I'm just going to, after this, I'm going to cut it off, and now I'm going to pick my elastic and insert the elastic. That elastic will help to firm the cap at the back, to help to keep it firm at the back. So what I did was to cut elastic of about 4 inches, but I realized that it was too long. By the time I was done, it was still big for her. So I would advise, if you are doing this kind of headpiece for a 1-year-old girl like mine, you should not use more than 3 inches elastic, or even 2.5. Don't use more than 3 inches, so that it will not be too big for her. So I'm just going to go ahead and insert the elastic, and I'm going to quickly stitch it down. So when I was done stitching, I went ahead to pull it to the other end, and I'm going to stitch it down. So just make sure you pull it to the other end and then stitch it down. At this point, I was only using my fabric glue to secure everything in place before moving to my sewing machine to tack everything down. And when I realized that it was not gluing, I went ahead to use my needle and thread to just finish everything up neatly. So that is what I am doing now. I'm just trying to close up the other end. Make sure that you are closing it at the wrong side, so that by the time you turn it, everything will come out to the right side neatly. All right, so when I was done, I went ahead to cut off the thread, and by the time I turned it and pulled it out, you see the way it was looking now. It was looking really neat from the inside. So the next thing we are going to do is to close the other side, the front side. Okay, I realized that it was not well tacked here, so I decided to tack it very well. again before pulling it inside out. So I tagged it with the elastic. Don't forget that we are trying to stitch the elastic to the other side, so I tagged it with the elastic very well, and then I used my lighter to burn out all the flyaways. So by the time I turned it inside out, this was how it was looking. Everything was already neat, and then I also went ahead to use my needle and thread to tack it down again. So when I was tacking this time around, I made sure that I did not tack with my elastic. If you tack it down with your elastic is not going to have any elasticity anymore. It's just going to stay in one place. So make sure that you are picking the fabric only, not with the elastic. So I went ahead to tack, and then I make sure I finished everything, closed everything up neatly, and that was it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is to create a bow, the bow that you could see at the front part of that of the headpiece. So I'm just going to finish tacking it, see how it's looking. Now it's time to create our bow. So I used this small piece. I didn't measure it actually, it was on fold, but you can use something of 8 inches by the normal Asooke length. So I went ahead to put it on fold, and I went ahead to burn all the edges so that it doesn't fray. So when I was done, I would just go ahead and stitch it at the side and at the down part. So when I was done stitching at the side and at the down part, I went ahead to turn it inside out. So after turning it inside out, you're also going to close the upper part. So I'm cutting off the excess now, and then I'm going to close the upper part, which I've done here. So when that is done, the next thing you are going to do is to try to run a gather stitch at the middle, or just stack it. See the way I'm holding it, hold it like so, and then you can go ahead and tack it down neatly. You can also wrap the thread around it just to keep everything in place, and then just tack it around. At this middle, you can decide to cut a little strip of fabric to cover it, but I was doing a very rush work here, so I'm just going to tack it down like that and look for a bead or applique to cover it up, which I eventually used beads to just cover that midpoint up. All right, so when I was done doing that, I went ahead to tack all the Asooke. And when I was tacking, please mind you, I did not tack it with the elastic. I did not tack it with the elastic. I tagged it with the fabric only. I exempted the elastic. So then I went ahead to place my Asooke on it like so, and then I went ahead to tack it just to keep everything in place. So I tagged it in strategic places, and so that everything can sit right. I'm sorry for the background noise. The baby that we are making this Asooke headband for is the one being a noise maker right now, and I don't really know what to do. I just have to upload this content today, so please bear with me. So when I was done, this was how it looked. So everything that was flying here and there, I went ahead to just tack it down neatly with my needle and thread so that everything can be neatly done. And then I went to cover the middle of my bow. I covered it with beads. All right, I made sure that my thread is not showing, so I tacked everything down neatly, and then I covered the mid part of my bow with beads, and that was it. This was the finished look. It really looked beautiful, and everybody loved it, and I am so happy to share it with you. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like my videos, drop it in the comment section if it was helpful. Until I see you in the next one, I love you and I care. Bye.